All right, good morning, everyone. We are going to start our pre-race media availabilities here for tomorrow's Cookout 400. We are now joined by William Byron, driver of the number 24 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet. If you have a question for William, just raise your hand and we'll get a mic. We'll start in the front with Nate here, then go to Bob, and then Lee.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. William, Hamlin's move on Larson at Pocono, where you force a leader to make a choice, or anybody to make a choice between lifting or gassing and potentially hitting the wall. What's your take on that? Is that fair when you do it for the win? And Denny said that it's been in the last 10 years that's sort of become an accepted way of doing business. I know you've only been here for 5 years, but has it always been that way for you since you've been here?
It's not always been that way. I think it's is this working? Okay. I think it's gotten that way with the next gen car because of the way the aero works. So, I explained this to Dale Jr. in the preseason. Is just the old car would get aero loose under somebody, so you would never get that close to somebody without sucking your car around, and eventually you'd kind of tag them in the left rear, and both of you guys would crash. So, with this car, the inside car gets tighter and comes up into the outside car, and the inside car is the one at the advantage aero wise. So. He has the control, so he can move up and put that guy in a vulnerable spot where he really has no choice but to hit the wall. I see it a little bit differently. I don't think in Kyle's situation he's already lifting on SMT, so I think he's going to hit the wall regardless. Like, Denny's the one that put him in that spot, very similar to what happened at Texas with us. So I think it's just a situation where the inside guys at an advantage. He has all the cards to play, and the outside guy is really dependent on what kind of race the inside guy wants it to be. So I think it's just a product of the next gen car and the way that the aero works.
And do you think it's a fair move, and would you do it for a victory?
Well, I think it's becoming more common with certain guys out there. So I think it's becoming. Yeah, it's becoming more common because what's the penalty for the inside guy, right? He's gonna hit you and move on. You can't retaliate. You can't go up to him, and there's nothing you can do. Like, once your car is in the wall, it's damaged and it's over for you. So I think you got to look at the tactics of it and what that means for your race. And I think for the inside guy, he kind of goes on.
Go to Bob and then Lee.
Bob Hockers, Fox Sports, to kind of follow up. Do you make that move, or do you wait for somebody, or do you only make that move on somebody who's already done it to you?
I think to me, it does matter who you're racing. So you got to see what they like. To me, I try to play it fair to where if that guy's never done something like that to me, I probably wouldn't do that to him. I think there's ways to do it. There's ways to make that move and still kind of race it off the corner. But you got to look at the trajectory of the cars. Like, Harvick was in fourth, and Harvick is a full lane down. He's on the outside, like he's in fourth. He's running the normal racing line, and both of the cars in front of him were above where he was. So I think, that's way out of the groove. There's marbles up there. It's hard probably to tell that on TV because it all looks black and dark, but the racing groove was quite a bit lower.
Lee
Spencer, Catch Fence. To kind of follow up on all of that, there's been speculation that the younger crowd has grown up learning their craft on video games. You guys do have some.
Me?
Well, that's why you're the perfect person to ask. I mean, a lot of people, had that short track experience, whatever, but how, learning that the way you did and behind, a screen, there's not the consequences. You're a little more skillful, but, you're seeing so much more of that. And you say it's the car, but how much is also coming up that way and learning a skill set?
Yeah, I mean, just from my experience, I had a lot of run-ins on iRacing, so I think I got all my bad run-ins out of the way and learned what I needed to when I was really young. When I was on there, I would, pull a lot of crazy moves and do a lot of aggressive things, and I feel like I kind of learned, what my code was, what I wanted to, how I wanted to race. So I feel like where I am now, I'm pretty mature in my thoughts and how I want to race. And, I mean, you want to do what's best for your team. So I think that's, ultimately what our job is to, try to go out there and get the best result for our team. So you just gotta know how desperate that decision is, for whether it's playoff chances or championship chances. I think, now that we see how these cars race, I think you're going to see some desperate moves probably.
And with 5 races to go, you trail MTJ by 30 points. And how important is winning the regular season championship, getting those 15 points, and what kind of strategy have you and Rudy looked at to kind of, catch up or surpass Martin?
Yeah, it's really important. It is really important, but we can't get too focused on the result, of the regular season points. I mean, we obviously want those points, but our process has been like it is to this point, and if we start focusing on that carrot out in front of us too much, it's going to get us off track. So, yeah, we're 30 points behind. All that is up for play and up for grabs, but for us, it's just trying to do the same things every week that got us to this point. We had a 60-point penalty this time, in the spring, and we crawled all the way back and took the point lead. And we just got to focus on trying to knock off results that are going to get us, 40 to 50 point days. Those would be really good.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any more questions for William?
I've got if you could just talk about the upcoming test here. I mean, we don't have any more short, flat tracks like this, but one at Phoenix, and that would be the next track we're going to that, this could really be beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think we're kind of wait and see on our end just to understand the package and kind of get back to the shop after this test and understand what it's all about. But I think definitely looking forward to testing for NASCAR over the next 2 days, and luckily the weather's going to be a little cooler than today, and I can just make some laps and hopefully learn some things for our team going forward.
We'll go to Holly and then Nate.
Hi, Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. Again, kind of along those lines, but with this being the last short track heading into the playoffs, do you see this weekend being a place where some people are like, I got to go for it now? I mean, we can short track race it if we need to, but do you expect it to be a little more aggressive because of that?
I expect there to be kind of a clear idea of who's got the speed, at the short tracks. Because when I look at last year's race here, Logano led 200 plus laps and, went on to Phoenix and dominated. So I do think there's some correlation to being good here on Sunday to being good at Phoenix. So, it is kind of our last true test of what we've got for I would say the 3/4 to mile racetracks. And we've hopefully got to have speed here on Sunday to, show that we're good on the short tracks, give ourselves confidence that we can go to Phoenix and have a good car.
Nate?
You mentioned the weather, and it's going to be cooler Monday and Tuesday, but it was, I think, 102 yesterday, and there's no relief in sight today and tomorrow. What is that going to be like in terms of how the track will race? I mean, you just expect it to be slicker, I suppose, or?
It'll be slick. I mean, Richmond's always that way. I noticed they painted the front stretch. They put lines on the front stretch. So I don't know if that'll play into running the lower line down the straightaway for grip. But, I mean, it's going to just be, you're just going to be tire management, managing the heat inside the car is going to be tough. I mean, luckily tomorrow is going to be, I think 89 is what I saw, so it's going to be way better. But if it was 99 or 100, I would think a lot of the drivers would have some trouble finishing. So, I think it's just, we got to keep working on the heat, but we're just up against, the climate that we're in right now.
No questions for William? All right. Thank you, William. Best of luck.
Thank you.